What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Betting Buds. The week after Super Bowl Sunday, here back with Pat and Phil. We've got a very special guest today, the John Cox, Mr. President. How we doing, man? How we feeling?
I'm doing very well. Very, very well.
I wonder why. Man, yeah, what a terrible Super Bowl, lads, huh?
Oh, shit.
I had a good time. The vibes were very high at John's house, so it was fun for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine the vibes being high there. I'm just gonna start out. Congratulations, John. I will congratulate you. I won't really congratulate anybody else because you have passion behind your fandom. I've seen it over the years. I respect it at this point, and I mean, it was bound to happen. You guys, you guys had a fantastic team. I don't see many teams beating you guys when you play to that level. Panthers
should have. Xavier Legette sold it.
Panthers Drake May can.
Oh God.
This is Patrick just talking out his ass. Panthers actually had a shot.
Oh God, Phil's not talking out his ass.
They were down by a touchdown, and Bryce Young threw a perfect ball. It was dropped.
You talking about
in the regular season?
That was against the Eagles or the Chiefs? I thought it was against both.
No,
they lost close to both.
Oh, the Eagles was yeah.
Eagles. Xavier Legette dropped the touchdown to tie the game.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Very bad. Yep.
Very bad.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great Super Bowl. I guess if you're an Eagles fan, me personally, obviously rooting against the Eagles, more so just rooting for a good game, and didn't even get any of that.
Why do you root against the Eagles, Noah?
I was born in Alexandria, Virginia, Patrick. So I have a favorite team. I know you don't know too much about that. I have a team that I represent because of my birthplace. Because of my family.
What rivalry do those two teams have?
They're in the same division.
I gotta leave, y'all. We're done already.
Isn't the big rivalry the Cowboys and the Eagles?
I mean,
it's
20 years ago. 20 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the new Jaden Daniels era, I don't know if you want to say anything on Jaden Daniels. The two most competitive teams in that division are the Eagles and the Commanders. Are the Eagles and the Commanders by far. So yeah. It's more so just the rivalry thing. It's how it is. It's the beauty of sports.
But especially recently, you guys beat us when I think we were 7-0 2 years ago. Like there was talk about undefeated season, and you guys came into the link on a Thursday night and beat us.
I think that was a Taylor Heineke masterclass. Taylor Heineke,
he fake flopped, and they gave him a roughing the passer call under the first down.
I remember that, dude. That was amazing. But yeah, congrats to you guys. City of Philadelphia, the fans of Philadelphia, the only people I know to win something and then just destroy their city. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
It sucks. I obviously went to college in Philadelphia, and I remember 2 years ago when I was there, like walking home from a Super Bowl party at halftime and like looking at bus routes, like how am I going to get to Center City in 30 minutes? And then obviously the Chiefs came back from 10 points. You get the holding call, and then I just laid in my bed, just awake for like 2 hours, just crying, being sad. And then the year I'm gone, of course, they pull it out and they win it.
Oh, man.
Dominant fashion. So it sucks, but it's also great.
I mean, they were probably out on the streets at halftime. I mean,
probably.
Realistically, that game was awful. If you like good football, I mean, like it was good football to a degree, but the Chiefs on offense looked like I mean, what was going on?
The reserves out in the fourth quarter.
I don't think they did. Did Kenny Pickett get in the game? I don't.
Yeah, he took the game-winning snaps.
Okay, but
he got that.
But it was Jalen Hurts that didn't pick up the four. Like y'all went for it on like 4th and 4 with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah, but Kenny Pickett threw 3 passes because I saw someone bet his over passing props.
No.
And it hit.
It was he threw one.
I know what
the bet was. The bet was over 2.5 players to throw the ball.
Oh, I gotcha.
But he threw one pass on 4th down or something. Didn't 0 for 1.
So who was the third? They're just saying a backup quarterback plus Mahomes
or like
and
a receiver, like a trick play or something.
Really special.
It was only like plus 180 or something. It wasn't. They expect.
Odds are kind of crazy.
They expect the trick play in the Super Bowl, I guess.
Yeah, I remember like thinking during that game, I was like, this is probably how 28-3 felt, but obviously there's not as many. I don't know. I feel like you could never doubt Brady, but
You can
24-0 after the pick six. But you had the pick six in the 28-3 game going into halftime too, so it felt like
It was similar
something could
vibes.
happen.
Similar vibes, but it just felt like it was over. It was over.
Yeah.
There was no Brady feel of, maybe he'll bring it back. No. It was wraps. Your D line and O line is just
I think that's really what it was. Yeah, that the defensive line just getting after him, and he looked rattled. It was really weird. I've never seen him look rattled, but he was just rolling out right and then missing guys. Like he
or
missed Travis
if he didn't roll out, he just walked right up in the pocket like there was going to be room. Like 350-pound Jalen Carter wasn't waiting for him. It was like, yo, Patty, like, whoo, something. Not that Patty, but this Patty be tripping too sometimes. But not as I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen him trip as much as Pat Mahomes was tripping the other night. I mean, the whole Chiefs offense was just like terrible. I mean, Hopkins dropping that pass basically lost the game. In a way.
It was over, yeah.
Kelsey, I mean, Mahomes must have been mad at Kelsey. He kept throwing it at his feet. I'm not too sure what was going on there.
I saw
Brittany and Taylor are probably
bickering or something.
It leads on to the guys as well.
It might have been that. I don't know. I think Vic Fangio, like all the circumstances that had to work out for him to come here. He's just like a Phillies fan, so he just wants to watch Phillies games. And the Dolphins players hated him because they're stupid and want to go out and club in Miami instead of practicing football. And so he leaves and then comes here, and then he just probably Also, I told people before this game, I was like, this is probably the best roster I've ever seen. And obviously, I have a lot of bias, but like, he signed a random linebacker, and now he's an All-Pro. And then you have Jalen Carter, who should have been a number 1 overall pick. Yeah. And then you have Cooper DeJean.
If he didn't murder,
why wasn't he the number 1 overall pick?
If he didn't murder those people, he would have been a number 1 pick, hands down, dude.
Nah,
Eagles. This segment is sponsored by Uber.
You can make the case that Eagles have a grade A in every single position on the field.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like even weakest. I mean, Nakobe Dean, our starting linebacker, got hurt, and I remember going into the Commanders game. That was like a big storyline. Like, will this have an effect? But obviously, it did not.
You know what's crazy is that Commanders game felt closer than the Chiefs game. Even though we turned the ball over just as many times and didn't really even give JD a chance to make any comebacks because we just fumbled on the kickoff or whatever. But that Chiefs game, like it was never close.
Chiefs didn't cross midfield till that drive at the end of the third when they scored when it was 34-0 already.
Yeah, and you guys, Commanders scored first. They had that opening drive field goal where it kind of felt like, okay, maybe they do know how to dink and dunk and press the right buttons to go down the field at least.
Mm-hmm.
They went for it on 4th down twice
on that opening drive
to convert and then kick a field goal.
Yeah, I was in a bar in Greenville watching with my mom and my brother, and someone was buying drinks for the whole bar after every Commander scored. So we had like 4 free Sub Crushes, shout out Sub Dog, before we left at halftime. But
were you not wearing any like Eagles stuff?
No, he didn't. He looked at us and he was like, "Yeah, I'll buy, yeah." So I guess he was just a little overconfident, but it was
classic Commanders fan.
Yeah,
needing social validation.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, any more thoughts on the game? I think. All 3 of our anytime touchdown picks hit, by the way. So I mean, shout out Will Elman. Shout out Will Elman. Turned $9 into $230 for the man up there.
I don't know why he would parlay this.
We're gonna need a cut. We're gonna need 10% going forward. Okay, any bet you win that it profits $200, just send $20 to my Venmo. I'll distribute it. That was actually crazy. And I do think us all 3 picking Chiefs money line is part of the reason the Eagles dominated.
Not me. Hey, I still saw the ticket. I had Eagles minus 9.5 before the game. I had Eagles money line. Too.
My dad had Eagles minus 7.5.
Defensive touchdown. I told them defensive touchdown, maybe defensive touchdown. I didn't think it'd be Coop, but
that was crazy. That was crazy. Y'all fans of the halftime show commercials? Like the whole evening was good. Yeah.
It was awesome. I love being advertised too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, let's
I don't
talk
know. I
about.
didn't have the best viewing environment. I had some rowdy
Oh
guests
yeah.
in my house, so it was kind of, you know,
See, I was
I
more
don't.
focused on the commercials and the halftime show than the game, so
Yeah.
it was different. But
Yeah.
yeah, if that was happening for my team, there wouldn't have been much viewing of anything else really.
Yeah.
I thought the
Yeah.
halftime
Yeah.
show
That's
was
the game. I would have taken some people out, but you gotta go.
Phil would have been
Nah,
gone.
he's talking about the
Yeah.
eight
Still.
11th graders that were at his house.
Eighth graders that were over.
I think they're high school juniors, and these are my younger brother's friends.
Is your younger brother Eagles fan too?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
well, it's complicated. He was like,
Well, because I
our
heard your
freshman
dad
year.
is not an Eagles fan.
No, my dad is a Cowboys fan, which is complicated. And my brother, the year Zeke and Dak had like a crazy year. He was probably in like third or fourth grade. He had a Zeke jersey.
Mm.
So there's some,
Yeah,
I don't know.
you can bring that one back up at the family at the Thanksgiving
I bring it
dinners,
up all the time.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the time.
Yeah, that's a good one to have in the bank. That's some good ammunition. But yeah, I thought the halftime show was a fantastic production. There's a Samuel L. Jackson and Serena Williams, and just like the dancing and the choreo, like it was great.
Serena was sick.
That was tough.
She killed
That
it.
was probably the best part of the halftime show, in my opinion, dude.
It was.
John's brother goes, "Is that Serena Williams?" And then they go, "I think every black girl in a skirt, Serena Williams." And then it comes out, it actually was her.
He knows ball. He knows ball. Oh man. Yeah. Any final thoughts? Pat, you got anything crazy you want to say?
I didn't watch 3/4 of it.
There you go.
No, I don't really have a whole lot to say.
And
I mean, maybe pick for next year. Who do we think? Or
early
think
picks.
repeat?
Early picks.
Whatever team Drake May is on.
I think
Yeah.
I think if the
You
Lions
can't say Panthers. You cannot say Panthers or Patriots.
if the
That's the only
Lions
rule.
if the Lions have a healthy defense, I think they finally make it this year. They should have made it the past 2 years, but
I think it's over for the Chiefs. I think Ravens or Bills is in the Super Bowl next year against either the Lions, Eagles, Commanders.
nah, it depends on the Panthers draft.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. It'll be a very interesting offseason, I think. For a lot of teams, losing people, getting used to new coaches, all that. I think the running back market will be rejuvenated thanks to Saquon, Derrick Henry going first year for both these guys on these teams, and they just ball out.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving.
Yeah, so like, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But my early call, I part of me is like, Lamar's got to get over that hump at some point. And if the Ravens get strong, if the Ravens don't get weaker,
They stay the same.
yeah. I mean, you'd think something will click there.
You need
But
to
I don't
add
know.
some more receiving weapons.
Yeah.
He does need a little bit of help.
Lamar deserves someone.
He deserves an elite wide receiver.
Yeah, he does. Zay Flowers is not cutting it, and Rashad Bateman's also dog shit. So
Rashad Bateman's good at what he's like meant to do, but he's not meant to be.
he's like Ted Ginn.
He's not meant to get 10 targets a game. Yeah.
Or Ted Ginn.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I think Lamar might be. He might be who he is. Like we might have seen Lamar. If he was on the, he'd probably win a Super Bowl too. But I don't know. He's not on the Eagles.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Like let's calm down now. Lamar Jackson's better than Jalen Hurts.
Lamar Jackson takes Eagles 16-0 or whatever.
I mean,
Me and Patrick are finally agreeing on something here.
I don't know. Like the Ravens had the better team the past 2 years, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles got it done. There's something to be said about that.
It might be. I think Saquon played a huge part in getting y'all there. And then obviously Jalen Hurts stepped up last night when it mattered. They just focused on taking away Saquon. Saquon really didn't affect the game at all
Yeah.
last night, which is
He ran the clock.
which is
But
fine.
if you look 2 years ago at his first Super Bowl, he also
Balled
probably
out.
outplayed Mahomes. Yeah,
Yeah.
which Lamar has never outplayed Mahomes
Oh,
or had as good of a game in a big spot as Jalen did 2
Yeah,
Super Bowls.
Jalen is a very interesting player when it comes to big games.
I've been saying this, and I love Lamar. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks, but he has not proven to be clutch at all yet. It's unfortunate, but
And sometimes it's not even his fault.
every big game, like the week 1 against the Chiefs, I thought he finally was going to do it, but then that was the Isaiah Likely touchdown where his toes were out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he hasn't won a big game, loses in the playoffs to the Chiefs or the Bills every year. Tough.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think if, like you said, if the team Ravens, Bills, Lions can get over that hump, they'll definitely give. I mean, like we're all talking like the Chiefs aren't also going to be back in that conversation. You know,
Yeah, they will be.
they will be. So I mean that's the hump in the AFC, and the Eagles will be the hump in the NFC. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, but
I wouldn't be surprised if Pat calls up an old buddy and asks if Tyreek wants to run it back in Kansas City. See what happens there. Would not be shocked. Would not be shocked.
That's a good shout.
Tyreek Hill leaving is one of the worst decisions a player has ever made, I think. He only got like $2 million more a year, which is $2 million, but it's like 28
No state tax,
compared
though.
to but to be like play with Tua and go 5-12 every year. They haven't won the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since like Dan Marino.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. That was a lifestyle one. He wanted some new women to impregnate.
Yeah, he goes to Miami and now he has 10 kids.
yeah.
I guess Kansas City is not the best place to live, but
No
it
state
is
income
when
tax,
you win.
Yep.
Super
That I
Bowls.
mean, that matters for these millionaires, you know.
the perk. For sure.
That's a good shout though, John. I didn't even think about that. I could definitely see something.
Hey, who knows?
Somebody will go to Kansas City, you know.
Yeah.
Do we think
I think so.
Kelsey doesn't retire yet now?
I think he's done. I think Jason retiring.
Yeah.
I think Jason retiring after a collapse will kind of be like, okay, if he did it, then I
It'll
can
make
do
it okay.
Is this
Some brother talk, yeah.
Did Jason retire after the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's the second year.
It was last year after the Bucks.
Okay,
lost.
it was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This is his first year retired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Travis does. I saw a clip of him just like a couple minutes before this of some play in the Super Bowl, 24-0, so not like completely over yet, of him just, I guess, no effort standing while Pat Mahomes ran around in circles in the backfield and then ended up getting tackled by the guy who was playing man defense on Travis. So the guy was just standing there next to Travis because Pat was still, could throw it. And then Pat took off to scramble and gets tackled by Travis's man. He didn't move at all. It was sad.
Taylor's definitely taking his hunger. She's the one putting food on the table now. He doesn't give a shit. He's at home playing fucking Warzone most of the time. I guarantee it.
Oh man, but yeah, we'll definitely as the off season progresses, we'll have a couple off season episodes. Once free agency draft, we'll talk some of that as it gets closer. I think the draft will be. I guess that's the next big thing, right?
Yeah.
The draft is the next big thing.
Well, free agency is before, isn't it?
Is it?
What did you say?
feel like they would do that.
Before or after the draft?
I think after.
I feel like it's after. Maybe like the trade deadline opens before. Yeah, putting that desktop to work. There we go.
And your picture is so clear.
It's just because he looks so good. Oh man!
Shout on iPhone.
Shout on iPhone. Shout out.
End up last night.
John, we can't say company names.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't.
We're not sponsored. Can you not?
It's really not, because I remember Saquon Barkley news being, why is the NFL free agency before the draft? This is in 2022, so unless they've changed it in 3 years, I think they just rather, let the veterans be happy than the draftees. The rookie.
Yeah, it starts March 12th.
Interesting.
And there's I didn't know about this. There's a legal tampering period that's 2 days prior to when free agency opens on the 12th. So you can sign on the 12th, but starting on the 10th, you can
be like,
tamper.
you can be like, I'm gonna sign with you.
It's basically you're sending your pitches, but you can't offer a contract yet.
We got investigated this year because of the Saquon Barkley stuff.
They didn't look hard enough.
Everybody. there's some names on the free agency. T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, Aaron Jones, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields.
T. Higgins tweeted today. He said the tweet said, "I'm gonna let y'all know first."
All right, T. Thank you, T.
He wants
T.
Shout out
to
T.
be the one to announce where he's
no
going.
shams for T or whoever
Fuck
is the Schefter.
Adam Schefter and Ian.
Is he from Charlotte? Is he a Carolina guy?
He went to Clemson. I think he's from South Carolina.
He did go to Clemson, yeah. Okay, well, that wraps up the quick NFL season here on the Betting Buds. You know, won the people some money. John gets to celebrate a Super Bowl for his Eagles. Oh, and Pat now, right? Oh, okay. Do you know that, John? Pat came out.
No, I didn't know that.
Pat came out as an Eagles fan about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, I have a good friend who's an Eagles fan, and my girlfriend's an Eagles fan.
Okay.
So I'm like an Eagles fan by mutual friend.
I feel like you would love Howie Roseman. I feel like you would worship Howie Roseman. He's like a smart Daryl Morey. It's like if Daryl Morey had a high IQ instead of like an 8th grade education.
He's still a little bit of an asshole, Pat. He's still a little bit of an asshole. So
awesome.
I think the Eagles fan base is perfect for you, Patrick. I think it's perfect. I think you found a home.
I have like 3 fan bases right now. It's the Eagles, the Patriots, and the Panthers.
What about the Hornets? No, you're just talking NFL.
I was just talking about NFL.
What about the Jets? You were a Jets fan, remember?
When was I ever a Jets fan?
Ryan Fitzpatrick. You were a Jets fan when Ryan Fitzpatrick was there.
I feel like that was just
It was a phase.
Ryan Fitzpatrick fan.
Okay,
you were always a player fan, I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm a team fan.
I love players.
It's a red flag.
We're dwindling it down though. We're getting close to that one team selection. Maybe before the season next year, we'll get it out of you.
Holy shit!
But yeah, let's talk a little bit of NBA. Let's talk a little bit of NBA before we wrap it up here. Give the people a few more picks. Hopefully they're as good as they were last week.
I'll go first. Strictly off feel. Hawks plus 8.5. I think tonight.
This is all for Wednesday, February 12th.
Yeah, the line that's out right now, I think, is plus 8.5.
Yeah.
Just because it's Hawks in New York versus the Knicks, so it's a home game for the Trae Young. He's the king. He's the king in New York, so I'm gonna just ride that.
I like it. Lose by 1 or 2, still you're good. Yeah.
Hawks money line. Take your points.
Patty, you want to go next?
Timberwolves red. Next 6. I forgot who's playing.
They're playing the Bucks, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're playing the Bucks, and the Bucks don't have Giannis, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
Any day. I'll let them figure that out with Kyle Kuzma. -6 easy. You can buy a couple points if you want to, if you want to be safer, but
okay.
The Timberwolves should win there.
Okay, I'm gonna go my first pick. I'm gonna stay with my squad. The Wizards plus 10, Indiana back to back. Halliburton's a fraud. I think we lose. I think we lose by 5. You know.
Yeah.
And we're still on the Cooper Flag Ace Bailey train. You know, either one at this point. But I like Wizards 10 points at home. Indiana's playing as we speak. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that they're on the back to back.
Mhm. John, you got one pick for us, or what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, this time of year, usually what I do is I just look at like teams that are inclined to tank. So like the Bulls just got their pick back. I think Bulls. So Pistons -4.5 might be good.
Oh yeah. Pistons
Bulls are very
nasty.
incentivized to lose. They have to lose a few games to get under teams like the Sixers and the Nets. And then the Pistons are 6, so they might just say, let's try and get a couple playoff games for what's his name, the
What's it?
Pistons player that I'm completely blanking on right now.
Cade?
Yeah, Cade Cunningham.
Oh, he's nice. He's
Yeah.
nice.
He is nice.
And if it makes you feel better, they're playing right now as well tonight. In Chicago, just like they're playing tomorrow. They're up 40 points. The Pistons.
I that's not even wasn't even thinking of that, but yep, there you go.
And the lowest line out right now for tomorrow, you're getting them at -3.5.
Yeah, that may be subject to change.
Yeah,
but
bet that one right now, boys and girls. -3.5 Pistons. Yeah. Who's got another one? I like that.
that's what I did last week with the Nuggets, and it like kind of same thought process, and it hit. Hornets are getting a lot of points, but it's the Hornets, so
I'll give my
I
second
have
pick. Oh yeah, wait, what you got? What you got?
I got Kings -4.
I lost.
I like
The
that.
Pelicans are horrendous, so I'm also gonna take that -4. I think the Kings are starting to figure stuff out
I was
with
gonna say, yeah.
Levine. He's probably like worked his way into the rotation, so and I feel like they could shut down Zion. They have enough size. I think DeMontis will definitely not make it easy for him.
Yeah, I like that pick.
He's their main source of offense unless Trey and CJ can shoot.
I'm gonna go Warriors -3.5 at Dallas. AD out indefinitely, whatever that means. Steph and Jimmy just getting more and more used to each other. This is the time of the year where the Warriors usually start to play a little bit better basketball. And I think the trades and the trade deadline passing is only going to benefit them. Mavs, kind of came out hot after the trade. Got to show the fans that we're still here to compete. It helps when Klay Thompson scores like 21 points in the first quarter, first half. He did that a couple times in the past week. Max Christie is dropping 25, so it's all gonna come crashing down at some point. I like the Warriors -3.5.
I'm gonna piggyback. Gafford and Lively are out, and AD. So yeah, they have no big men.
There we go. And that's the Warriors' weakness, really. Is the biggest, you'd say.
Steph has been taking a lot of shots recently, and I don't know if it was last time they played, but at least earlier this season when they played, Klay went off a little bit. Had a good game and talked some shit to the Warriors, so they're gonna want their look back. I like the Warriors as well.
What's that? You got one more, Pat, and we each got one more.
Yeah.
All
My
right.
last one is Clippers 3.5 to win by 3.5. They are not playing it back to back like the Grizzlies are. I think the Grizzlies are a good team, but they definitely have their faults. Clippers are like insanely great on defense. The total is kind of high, low key. So I'm expecting a shootout, and I think the Clippers are going to be on the better end of that. Norman Powell, Kawhi, James Harden.
They made a couple of trades too. Yeah.
They did, and they have a good size. I think it's going to be enough to take the Grizzlies down, especially on a night that they're playing a back-to-back.
I'm gonna finish up mine here with. I'm gonna take Phoenix +6. Just because I feel like that the Rockets have been good this year, much better than anybody expected. I think the Rockets are a top 5 seed in the West.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. And they've got a great young core. I just think Phoenix, if KD and Book play, I know KD is going for 30,000 tonight, so hopefully he doesn't sit out after hitting it, or hopefully he's like 2 points short or 4 points short, and then tomorrow is the big game. You know what I mean? For 30,000, build it up, beat down on the Rockets, or even just lose by 5 points, and we're chilling. So yeah, I'll go +6. Phoenix to finish off my picks. What you got for us, Philly? Take your.
Yeah. I'm gonna rock with the LeBron kick, and the Lakers, and Luka. I think will play better.
He didn't even have to play. Like, they just killed him.
He shot not great, but then he also sat out the fourth quarter, so expect something similar. Yeah. They're gonna go off. It's LeBron and Luca. How could
It sounds like 10-0.
How
That
could
sounds
you
like
bet
10-0 with all the picks. We're not picking against each other in anything tonight. I think that's 10-0 right there. If I'm gonna speak
Throw it
frugally.
on a parlay. See what happens.
Yeah, just $1 on
I have
that.
I have an
$1
extra
change
one.
your life.
Yeah, Pat, give your extra one. That's yeah.
bonus?
So
This one's gonna miss now.
if Isaiah Collier is playing basketball, you're supposed to take his assists over. I'm not sure what it's going to be tomorrow because some part of me hopes the books have caught on. But if it's anywhere around like 8 or 9, I would take that shit.
You said he's hit like you've bet on his assist the last like 7 games.
Yeah, it's like 6, 7 games in a row he's hit. And I watched the game last night because I was watching Luca. They basically run the offense through him.
He's a good
like-
young piece. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the ball, somebody will set a screen, and then somebody will come off the screen, and he'll just dish it to him, and then they shoot.
There you go.
Their offensive scheme centers around him getting assists.
Yeah, and they're not the greatest team anyways. Which
No,
probably
they're
helps.
not.
That is the one. Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully they don't get shit on.
There we go. That wraps up the Super Bowl recap, NBA picks for tomorrow. John, appreciate you coming on, man. Congrats once again, as much as it pains me to say. You guys deserved it. You guys deserved it.
Thank you.
and
Thank
oh,
you.
okay. Yeah, on that note. Yeah, we'll catch you guys maybe next week. We got to look at the sports schedule. It's kind of dying off on us here. We'll have March Madness at some point.
Start watching more hockey.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Hockey-
have to get into something. Hockey is good,
Hockey's a great sport.
but I don't know enough about it right now.
I
I
just
don't know anything about it.
I only know about the Hurricane.
Maybe we'll have like an expert on Ben or somebody or whoever a hockey guy is.
I
Get some
know
picks.
I know some hockey guys.
Sunny D from way back in the day, big hockey guy.
Oh boy. All right, yeah. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Cut.
Cut.
Hey!